Turn me up. This is
coming to you from the heart of the Pacific, brought to you by Paulie by Design.
respected at all times.
Broadcasting from San Francisco, California, the city by the bay.
It's about to go down.
We shine on positive Pacific Islander role model every Sunday.
Party on a Sunday.
From 10 a.m. to noon, it's time for the iconic Faika Broadcast with your hosts,
Listening to
Naki and Carl.
Oops.
Can I get a woo woo?
Can I get turned up?
All right. Good
There you
morning,
go.
everybody.
Good morning. Thank
Today's
you, Rudy.
Sunday, October 4th, 2020. We crawl along through 2020, and there just keeps coming up new stuff every week, and this week was no different. I'm your host, Carl, with me, your lovely host, Naki. Good morning, Naki.
Good morning.
So we are season 4, episode 35. Today we're going to talk about the debates, and that is plural because there was more than one debate last week. There was Poly by Design's own, and then there was the debacle that was the presidential debate on Tuesday. We're going to talk about Trump. We're going to talk about Koviki Talks, our show on Mondays. The fires that are on top of us again with the smoke and the unhealthy air. And we're going to talk about the election that is 29 or 30 days away. So that's our show today. Naki, what's good?
Good morning. So, God, what did we do? Is this my mic? Yesterday, I'm like, is this my mic? What happened yesterday? So Tuesday we had Toke Moana Foods, and we had Fusion and
Fusitaanga?
Yes. And so she talked about her journey and being a businesswoman and an entrepreneur, Pacific Island entrepreneur.
All I can think of right now is I just remembered that you've got bulingi for me.
Yes. We
Just
have
remember
Bullying.
that.
Yes. Good morning, Mele. Good morning, Hopi. Good morning, Maury. Good morning, Tuffy. Thank you for tuning in. Of course, we asked you to share. We had Fusion on Tuesday, and she talked about Toke Moana and how it started and everything amazing about their food. Yes,
Big visions of where she wants her business to go.
They're going to open up a restaurant soon. And so go check out their website. Go check out the interview. It's on our page. And check out Fusi talking about her business, her journey, her family, her husband and her kids. And so she sent us a message saying that because I told her we wanted to order food, and so we order food, and of course we get there, and she's like gifting the food to us, and I was like, "What the hell?" She's so sweet, and so we picked up food yesterday, and me and Mo, because Carl and I had the debate, and we really were exhausted, and then I picked a plate. It was so good. It was so good.
I forgot all about it until you started talking about it. I got food to eat.
We had so in our plate we had, oh my gosh, we had we call it balusami, but it could be lu, and then the Tongan version of balusami, and then galo taro, oka. We had oka, and then suafe'e, which is octopus. And then, oh my God, there was so much food. Sapsui, sausage. What else? Oh, turkey tail, muli pipi, which was so good. Everything was really good. And then we had bulingi with the sauce. So
I'm so excited. I forgot all about that.
Yeah. So you have to go check out the page. Go check out their food. Vicky, good morning, Vicky.
Good morning, Vicky.
And Pisa, good morning, Pisa.
Good morning, Pisa.
What else? Oh, so we had food we picked up in Vallejo, and the food was amazing. So I posted a little video on TikTok, and then so go check out TikTok. And then we came home, and I took a bunch of pictures of the food because it looked so good. Presentation was amazing. The food was amazing. So thank you, Toke Moana Foods, for the amazing food. And then
good morning, Kim Frazier.
Good morning, Kim Frazier. Is she on?
She's
Good
on.
morning. And then I ate, and then after I ate, I was useless because
That's
I was
a
going to
wrap.
go do this. I was going to go do that. But then after we ate, once I eat, it's over. So we chilled. Mo had to work last night, and then I did some work, and I think that's it. That was it. We were busy this week with COVID-19 and
Koviki Talks.
Koviki
What is
Talk.
Koviki Talks?
Koviki Talk is talk around for Pacific Islanders, everything regarding COVID-19, like
From a Pacific Islander perspective.
From a Pacific Islander perspective, because the numbers are so high for Pacific Islanders that we just want to make sure everybody's informed and that you hear it from us, who we get it straight from the doctors.
So if you are a Pacific Islander and you want to learn about COVID-19, tune in on Mondays.
Yes.
Monday evenings at 5.
Monday.
And we will talk about all things COVID-19.
All things COVID-19.
From our perspective, we will have scientists on that are working on the vaccine that look like you. We'll have doctors that are treating and working on the front lines with COVID-19 that look and sound like you. So
Yes.
it's all things from our perspective, and it's up-to-date information. So if you're not Pacific Islander, and if you're not PI, you're still going to get up-to-date information about COVID-19. You're going to get groundbreaking, to-the-minute updates on like the vaccine. We talked about finding a cure this past Monday with one of the doctors that is what they call on the bench. He's working in the lab on a vaccine as we speak.
Yes, he's involved with the what is that? Critical. Anyway, if you want to testing, he's
Yes.
doing the testing.
Clinical analysis.
Clinical analysis, Dr. Andrew Patsi Young, and we had Dr. Reno Samoa on Koviki Talk. So this week, we're on tomorrow at 5 o'clock on Pacific Islander COVID-19 response team page, Facebook page, AppJoe page. So there you go. So everything COVID-19, stay on our page. We've got it for you. What else happened this week?
Let's see. We had fires. We'll talk about those at at the end.
We'll talk about the fires.
We had the Tuesday debate. We had the Tuesday presidential debate. that was this week.
Presidential debate, which was
News
it was awful.
News moves so fast
Right.
that seems
That was like
there's so many
years
things that
ago.
have happened since then that doesn't seem like it was Tuesday. It seems
Yeah.
like that was like last month. But we did have a debacle. I mean, a debate
Yes.
with President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden. They were talking over each other. They were interrupting. They were
Saying, "Shut
mudslinging.
up."
They were saying, "Come on, man, shut up." They were slinging personal things about their kids.
Right.
It was horrible.
Awful.
The worst debate
Ever.
and I geek out over these things. I'm like,
I do.
I was looking forward to seeing, I wanted to hear if I got anything new in terms of positions out of
Right.
it. Like 15 minutes in, I was like, I can't, it's hard for me to even watch because
Yeah.
it was so childish to see both of them just go back and forth.
Right.
And so here, my take on it is that President Trump is President Trump. He's always going to try to dominate the conversation and dominate the area. You know what I mean? He's going to interrupt and he's going to talk over you. And if Joe Biden doesn't respond to some degree, then he's seen as weak or he's seen as taking a second, a back seat to President Trump. So he's kind of stuck because if he doesn't respond, he looks bad. If he responds, he looks like he did, and that looks bad. So not just a hot mess of a situation, and the losers once again is the American public.
Yeah, I watched the Good Morning Julia Critchen. Good morning, Tony Masoli, Lily Noah, Samia. Good morning. Thank you for tuning in. So I watched the debate, and I was like, I don't know. I was kind of up in the air about not who I'm going to vote for, but who I wanted to vote for didn't make it easy for me to vote.
Right.
I went in there thinking, okay, it's gonna be everything that I think will confirm who I'm gonna vote for, and then the debate happens, and I'm just as stumped as I was before. And even worse, you know what I mean? Like, I really don't know who I'm going. I know it's not going to be Trump. I'm not even sure if it's going to be Biden. I'm not sure. You know what I mean? I thought that the debate would nail it down for me who I'm going to vote for. And really, it fucked me up all over again because they were both so stupid. It was so Apineru Lealofi. Good morning. Thank you for tuning in. So I listened to the whole thing, and it was a lot of bickering back and forth, and then, you know, it was like two little kids. It was really, really sad.
It was even worse because Chris Wallace, bless his soul,
he was
had
like
the hardest job to try to keep any kind of order in there. So it was three people. You had three people talking at once at sometimes, one trying to cool it out and trying to get somebody to stop, to stop talking and let the other person speak and give them their 2 minutes. And then you had the two people going back and forth. So at points you had three people talking, and my wife was in the kitchen, and you can see the TV from the kitchen. And at one of the points, she literally said, "How are you understanding anything that anybody's saying? I can't hear any sentences because I'm just hearing three people talk."
Yeah.
So it was hard. I don't know who the next moderator is going to be. I myself, I think that Chris Wallace is one of the best moderators out there. And if he can't control them, I'm not sure what the next moderator is going to do. But that's even if we have another debate, because Trump came down with COVID-19.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that leads into a whole bunch of different questions of, will there be another debate?
Right.
Will there be, and it's a lot of the Republicans that the nominee, the Trump nominee for the Supreme Court justice to replace Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Amy Coney Barrett, she has met with no less than 30 senators face to face. And Mike Lee, one of the senators on the Judiciary Committee, has tested positive for COVID-19. So he would be in her confirmation hearing. He's tested
now
positive
everyone
for COVID-19.
has to get tested.
And another senator, Republican senator, has tested positive for COVID-19. So it's throwing a huge curveball. I still think that somehow the Republicans push through the nomination, but we don't know. We don't know because these people are early on with COVID, and the symptoms and the severity of it increases as they go. So everybody's saying it's still going to go forward. I suspect it still will, but who knows? I mean, there's so many curveballs.
Now, like, the whole DC has to get tested for COVID-19.
Right.
But we will talk about that, right? We have Ariva is on. Good morning, brother.
Willie Salavea. Good morning, Willie.
Salavea.
Thanks to Willie for we will get into our debate that we had yesterday. Thank you, brother Willie, for making the connections. Willie, Talavo, Almavai. We'll talk about all of that with ours, but Willie was a big piece of making what happened yesterday.
It was awesome. That we had. It was amazing people that were on. The panel was amazing. You guys did a great job with the panelists. And I say this because we wanted to make it like, there was a lot of people, like, even in the chat, people were kind of going off on each other, but that's not what we wanted to do.
Let's back up.
Right.
What we're talking about is Poly by Design hosted a Pacifica 2020 presidential debate yesterday. Naki and I were the moderators. We had no idea what we were doing. We were doing our best. We had fact checkers. They had no idea about what they were doing. Everybody's doing their best, and just bless the panelists for their patience, for their willingness to put themselves out there, because there's a lot of people in the PI community that are like, I'm a Trump supporter, but don't, you know what I mean? Or I'm you know what I mean? But, and these panelists said, no, we're going to go on air, and we're going to have our names and our faces broadcasted, and we're going to express our opinions. So not only did they agree to do that, and some of them at the 11th hour, or like Friday, we're still scrambling trying to solidify and nail down our panelists, but they agreed to it. They were patient with us. They were civil to each other.
Oh my God.
And, we're just the little tiny Pacific Islander community. But if Trump or Biden or the networks want to see how to talk to each other,
is supposed to run,
and how to give each other the time that they're supposed to have, that they're allotted to have to speak, check out our debate from yesterday, because the respect that the panelists gave each other, They adamantly disagreed with each
Right.
other. There was no
Right.
name calling. There
Right.
was, interrupting was, I don't even know if it happened. I don't think it happened.
I don't think so. I don't think
It was just a great show of, in my opinion, how politics should be
Right.
discussed.
Right. So the thing that I loved about it is I think we talked about, well, the main reason why I wanted to participate is because I have been seeing like family members that are on opposing sides of who they want to be presidents, like bashing each other on Facebook. And we wanted to show, I think we were selective in the panelists because we wanted to show each side and all of us in a positive light, like how we can agree to disagree without bashing each other. And
So-
I think that's so important.
Poly by Design, we spoke to each of the panelists.
Right.
And what the conversation, it was the same with every panelist. It was, we are looking for, first, a good spokesperson and representative of the PI community.
Right.
Second, we're looking for a passionate Trump or Biden supporter. It's
Right.
that order. That's
Yes.
that's the order that we're trying to find the panelists, because trust me, we could find plenty of passionate Trump or Biden
Yes,
supporters
yes.
that aren't necessarily going to represent the Pacific Islander community well.
Yeah.
We found the right panelists.
Yes.
That are good representatives of our community first,
Right.
and they're passionate about their politics
Right,
second. So
right.
thank you to Rudy.
Yes. To Dayla, to Lay, and Sid, they did an amazing,
All four of you.
amazing job.
And again, Willie Salaver,
Yes. Maury.
Talavo
Yes.
Almavai, Nicole, and Kevin Donovan.
Exactly.
Everybody who put in work for this came off better than we thought. Actually,
Yeah.
Mackie and I were talking about how
Oh my God.
it'd been a minute since I was nervous about a show.
Yeah.
I was nervous before
Yeah.
we started yesterday at like 9:45. I was like, wow, I have not been this nervous in a long time.
Yeah.
But I think it was because it's such a big platform in the sense that it's good for our own people to see civil political discourse.
Yes.
Not arguments, but disagreements in position, especially coming off of the horrendous presidential debate on Tuesday.
Yeah. I loved every piece of it. And I was kind of didn't want to participate because one, I don't know a lot about politics. And just this year, I'm just starting to read the propositions, ask Carl everything, so, and I didn't want to, I don't know. I just didn't want the debate.
wanna mess it up.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
want to mess it up. You know what
Nobody
I
did.
mean? I didn't want to mess it up. I wanted it to be positive and respectful. And that's exactly what we got yesterday. Everybody was so respectful. We just wanted to show that, from what I was watching on Facebook, or scrolling, I was seeing everybody just disowning their family members. And if you don't like Biden, you can do this. If you don't like Trump, you can do this. It was awful. And so I just, like you always say, at the end of the day, we're still all, our family, our friends and everything. We still have to deal with each
Right.
other. Trump is not going to personally deal with me. Biden is personally not going to deal with me. So I was glad that we got to showcase positive Pacific Islanders who represented, Team Biden, who represented Team Trump. And no matter what you thought, you got a little idea of what the opposing side was thinking, right? And they even said yesterday,
The panelists
said, we have a lot in common. We just, certain little things here and there. So, but most of all, we are all Pacific Islanders. We're all passionate about who we want to run the country. So I thought it was they did an amazing job. I love Dayla and Lay came off really good. They were Team Biden, and Sid and Rudy did an amazing job of making their points about why they're voting for President Trump. Lay and Dayla made amazing points of why they're voting for Biden. It was really, really good.
One of the things that you didn't hear on Tuesday, not even remotely close, was I learned something tonight from you.
Yes.
You heard that yesterday on our panel. You heard a comment of like, there's things that I learned today by, their opponents or
Right.
the other side.
Right.
There was comments about, I learned things today about the positions of the other side.
Right.
You never even remotely heard anything like that on Tuesday night.
Right,
It was
right.
just straight, you're a horrible person. You're a horrible
No,
person.
shut up. I mean, nobody said those things yesterday. Nobody said those things. I was so proud to be a part of that debate yesterday, and only because the people that put it together, we all had one thing in common: making Pacific Islander, not trying not to make Pacific Islanders look bad, right? We
Right.
wanted to do it, respectfully. We wanted everybody to make their point without yelling at each other. I was ready to hit the mute button. I didn't even use the mute button. I was ready to push that thing, but I didn't get a chance to use the mute button. And once everybody was respectful of the time, I guess that, once we got everybody had 2 minutes, like at the beginning, it went a little long, and then we were like, hey,
Right.
2 minutes. But right after that, one more, that's all it took, was one of us to say, hey, your 2 minutes is up. And then from then on,
wrapped it up.
everybody wrapped it
Yeah.
up within 10 seconds, 5 seconds within the time. So badass. Those four are badass. So there you go. I love the panelists. They were amazing. So I'm going to get a hold of you to come on, Faika.
Yeah.
So it was awesome.
I think individually, they all brought a ton to the table and kept it civil. And,
Yes.
and everybody had that in mind. And,
Yes.
hopefully that there's the younger generation or even older generation that hasn't participated in
Yeah.
the past in voting, that saw what happened
Yeah.
yesterday and get inclined to get off the sidelines, get in
Yes.
the game and vote. So
Yeah.
there's our public service announcement to get out there, get registered to vote.
Please register.
We got 29
Yes.
days till the
Oh
election.
my gosh, yeah.
Get this, did you know 2 million people have already voted?
Awesome.
2 million people have sent in their ballots already.
By mail, yeah.
That's incredible. It's way more than before. We're in the middle of a pandemic,
And-
but that's how
yeah.
engaged
Yeah.
America is right now. This election, I believe, is going to have record turnout.
Yeah. So if you haven't done so, register to vote and vote. They've already mailed out the ballots. And if you want to mail it in, it's very safe. We got our envelopes. You have to sign the back in order for it to be your vote to be counted and verified. So make sure you seal it, sign the back of your envelope, and mail that puppy in. They also, you can drive up. They have in my area, you can drive up and drop off your ballot. You can drive up and vote, I believe. You can go to Kroc Center, which is in Fairfield, on the day of the election, and it's a huge center, so I'm sure they're going to be practicing social distancing. You must wear your mask if you're going to vote in person, and just be respectful. It was so awesome. I was so proud to be a part of that, and I thank you and Maury and Vo for putting this all on. It really enlightened me. I just really wasn't. I was scared I was going to jack it up. So, because you guys are all like not professionals, but you're aware of the political system.
I think the
and
panelists
everything.
are very aware.
Oh my God, they were so
of everything. I
good.
think
Yeah.
that your and my thought was it's our platform.
Right.
We're always promoters of positive Pacific Islander role
yes.
models. We had 4 of them on stage yesterday.
Awesome.
On the virtual stage yesterday, and we wanted to make sure that they were shown in the best light possible. That's why I was nervous, and I was nervous about the way that it would come off. Because in today's day and age, if we would have went off on each other, then you become a TikTok voiceover. You
I know.
become a meme.
Right.
Or, you know what I mean?
right,
Like there's
yes.
so many things that could have went bad yesterday.
We did not want that to happen. We wanted everybody to just be themselves, not get, and we were like uninterrupted. You get uninterrupted 2 minutes. They totally did that. They were respectful to one another. They waited and then we had a rebuttal at the end of everybody's answer, and everybody was very respectful, getting their points out, getting their points across.
And also apologies to the panelists. We said an hour, maybe an hour and a half.
Oh my God, we went
and
2 hours.
We were 2 hours and had like 5 topics left.
Right.
So thank you to the panelists for
Yes.
patience with the process.
Yeah.
Not only that, us as moderators, but then being well over the time that we said we would be.
Yeah.
They were very understanding of that.
And we got, so it's 2 hours. We literally didn't get to all the questions. So we most likely will have a part 2 with our other questions. We're not sure. We're still trying to work that out. But yeah, it's, thank you to the panelists who stayed 2 hours. I didn't want to take up their whole afternoon debating politics, which I'm sure they wouldn't have minded because it was really, it was flowing.
Well,
and
they
it was
have
good.
lives. You know what I mean? They probably heard us say an hour. So
Right.
they may have had things planned at the hour and a half mark, definitely at the 2 hour mark. So out of respect for the panelists' time, we called it, but we didn't get to all the topics.
Yes.
We are considering having one or maybe, we don't
maybe
know.
one on each side.
Right.
Yeah.
So it may not be the same format, but it definitely would be the same civility and the same respect between the panelists.
Yep.
So that makes us want to do it again.
Yeah.
If it was a debacle like Tuesday, we wouldn't even be discussing it.
we wouldn't even been on today.
Wouldn't have brought it up.
What debate? Yeah. So it was awesome. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's on our Facebook page. It's on YouTube. You can listen to it. It's on our Faika app. It's everywhere. So it's a great debate. Go listen if you're undecided, or even if you've decided and you just want to listen. It was awesome. I did, though. Everyone was respectful. The panelists, the moderators, the time checkers, our time keeper, Vo. Everybody was very respectful. The chat, though, was going on.
Even the chat, though, they were more passionate, but there wasn't.
Yes,
I didn't see like name calling and those.
They were very passionate,
but they were more open in their passion.
Yes,
than our panelists.
Yeah, they were more passionate verbally. But good morning, Helen Verma. Good morning, Alene Malai. Thank you for Amita Marks. Good morning. Who else is on here? Mark. Fa'asua Malia Ta'ala. Good morning, brother. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I encourage you to go check out the Pacific Islander debate. It was a really good job done by the panelists. They were well informed. They argued their points respectfully. Fiti and D. Aina, your hand is right there in the camera. But thank you. And then also, Carl is playing with the wires, so that's why you see his body. But everyone was very respectful. What I did, the chat was going off though, and when I mean going off, they were having heated discussion. They were having a heated discussion in the chat, which cracked me up because I looked down at the chat, and at one point. I looked down at the chat, and at one point I seen, "Oh yeah, in your muli." And I was like, "What? Who said that?" And then I just turned the chat off because I was trying to concentrate on the panelists. But the chat was pretty funny. I thought the chat right when I said, "Oh yeah," and I seen, "Oh yeah, in your muli," I was like, "Oh okay, I'm gonna cut off the chat."
Well, it's kind of hard because at one point. I made a joke about like Rudy had technical problems, so he was switching from his computer to his phone, and I forget we're not on Faika, right? Yeah. So I'm like, "Oh, were you trying to duplicate yourself and then team up on the Biden side?" Yeah, and then and I'm like, "This is a debate,
right?
It's not Faika.
Calm down.
I'm not supposed to be making jokes."
I know, me too. I was trying to be not me as possible because you know me, I just blurt out whatever I say. At points, I had to mute myself. And not because I wanted to say anything to panelists, but because in my head, I thought some shit was funny, but I thought I better not because they might not think it's funny. And so I was like keeping my mouth shut a lot. Manu Lutu, good morning. PJ, hi PJ.
PJ.
Mel, good morning, Las Vegas. Hi, Mel.
That's right.
So, yeah.
That's hard to say good morning, Las Vegas to Mel.
I know.
She needs to be here.
So
but she's where she needs to be, but I wish she was still here.
She's where she needs to be. But yeah, the chat was pretty funny because then I had to go read and see who said, "Oh yeah, in your muli." And I was like, whoa. And then I turned my mic off because I was cracking up. So I thought that was super funny. I mean, everyone is passionate about who they want to be for president or who they want to vote for president. So it was funny. It was funny.
My point with that, and Naki was saying it earlier about like disowning family members and loved ones
crazy.
And friends, is like most of us were around in 2000.
Yeah,
2000 was a contested election. It came all the way down to Bush and Gore, and they were in the state of Florida.
Yeah,
breaking open ballot boxes,
right.
Arguing over which was actually, there was literally ballots where they would look at those and go, one side would go, "That's a vote for Bush," and then the other side would say, "No, that's a vote for Gore." And I was like, that's the same ballot. Like you were looking at the same
people
ballot,
are seeing two
and you're
different
both saying
things.
that's a vote for somebody else. That was as heated and contested an election, went to the
Yeah.
Supreme Court. And then look, does anybody, like, what's Al Gore doing for our lives today?
Right.
What's former
Nothing.
President Bush doing for our lives today? We still have our
Right.
family and our friends and our loved ones in our lives. After Trump and Biden are gone,
Right.
we're still going to have our friends and our family and our loved ones.
Right. Doris Tulifau, Brown Girl Woke
Brown
is
Girl
on. Good
Woke.
morning, Doris.
All the way from Samoa.
I encourage you to go follow Doris Tulifau and Brown Girl Woke. It's a nonprofit organization in Samoa, in Hawaii, and in San Francisco. They're doing amazing, amazing work to help the people in Samoa, our people in Samoa, and she does an amazing job. So please, please, please go follow Doris, Brown Girl Woke.
I say all the way from Samoa, but who knows where that girl is?
Right.
She's all over the world.
everywhere. She's doing the work. She's doing the work. So we love Doris. Yeah, but the debate yesterday was badass. I just love the panelists. They did a great job, but the chat was pretty funny. So, and I haven't gone back in there because I've been busy, but I'm going to go back in there and read it again. I'm going to go back in there and read it again, and I'm going to probably the in your mooly or something like that, whoever wrote something. But yeah, it was a good time, and I enjoyed it. So if we're going to do this again, I'm looking forward to it.
That was a good time.
And the questions were pretty good
from the chat?
Yeah. No, the questions that we gave the panelists.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were pertinent to the we did not give the questions to the panelists.
Yeah, we gave
the
them
topics. So when we asked a specific note about the tax plan, they didn't know exactly what the question would be, but they knew that we were going to discuss each candidate's tax plan.
Yeah, it was awesome. I loved listening to both sides. They actually I don't know now still.
They gave me information I didn't have.
They gave me information I didn't have. So that's exactly, you're right. That's it. So awesome. Great job to Dayla, Rudy, Lay, and Sid.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So PJ Luia Sanga, good morning. Thank you for tuning in. We were talking about the debate. It's everywhere. It's on YouTube. It's on our page, and it's on our app. So there you go. A good job yesterday. What else happened?
So when I got done, I wanted to go for a walk yesterday after to kind of de-stress, and the air was horrible. It seems like we got out.
The fires are back.
Yeah, it seems like we got out of the whole, because there was weeks where I could squeeze in a walk in the morning because it was moderate, and then in the afternoon every day for weeks. It was horrible, and then it seemed to let up where we could go and the air was clean. And this week it just ended up back on top of us. Those fires out in Napa County are out of control. I don't know the percentage, but I do know that the smoke has come over into the valley.
Yeah, Napa. I think Napa has some fires because I woke up and it was so smoky, and I'm like, damn, we're back to this shit again. It's crazy. So
thoughts and prayers out to the families.
Right.
It was touching. I was watching one of the news clips, and it had one of the owners of the wineries, and they were talking about wine, and he broke down, got choked up, and he was talking about his employees, his workers that were out of work. I'm sure he was concerned about the wine, but he was way more concerned about his employees and his workers that he didn't have work for. And that's something that we don't always think about. We think about homes, we think about businesses.
Right.
When a business goes, so go the workers. They don't have a place to go to work.
It was awesome.
It brought to mind being prepared. And one of the things that I found out was that September was Emergency Preparedness Month.
Oh, hey.
But it's September. And we didn't find out about it until now.
Yes.
So, and I think the fires is a good time. You had it affect you and your family.
Yes.
To really think about being prepared for an emergency if an emergency happens. It's fire season right now. But in California, it's always earthquake season. Earthquakes can be any time of the year, any time of the day. So if an earthquake happened right now or tonight, how prepared
What you
would your
gonna
family?
do?
How
What
prepared
you
would your
gonna
family
do?
be? So, one of the first things, and we will put these things on our social media so that you have them and you don't need to take notes. It's not a class. The first step is get alerts to know what to do. So when there is a fire in your area, you can sign up to receive text message alerts to let you know that may precede the news. So one of the things that media found out is that Twitter was distributing news before the news was distributing news, because they're
yeah.
individual people that are
No,
reporting.
Twitter is kind of badass.
So what the government has tried to do is get people involved and sign them up for text alerts so that they can get information, probably not as fast as Twitter, but very specific. So your Twitter feed has a whole bunch of different information in it. If you just want when there's a fire or an emergency in your area, you can sign up for those in California. It's calalerts.org. The second piece is make a plan to protect your family or your people. When everything goes into chaos, does your family know where to go? Do they know where the meetup place is? Do they have a group chat that is specifically for that? Do they have those things? And have they gone through those and practiced them? Number 3, get to safety with the things that you need, and we'll talk a little bit about what do you need if you're headed to safety. 4, stay safe at home, and then when you can't, leave. And then last, help friends and neighbors get ready. So it's kind of that when you're on an airplane, they tell you to put on your oxygen mask first if they drop from the ceiling so that you can help other people after. Don't put them on your kid first and then you. It's more effective to do it the other way.
Yes, and then connect and protect. Think about who you want to connect with during an emergency. These may be family, neighbors, friends, caregivers. Who do you want to protect? So write down their names and contact information. Include your home, work, school, and other numbers. Share copies with everybody, your neighbors, your kids, your mother, father. And then you should also pick one person outside of your area. So my mom lives in San Diego. So if we had an earthquake here in San Francisco, our point of contact would be my mother because she's out of the area. All the cell phone signals in our area would be jacked up or tied up. You would get a busy signal. Believe it or not, you would get a busy signal if you're trying to contact someone locally in your area.
Some of you aren't old enough to know what a busy signal is.
You don't know what a busy signal is. So what you would do is contact someone outside of your area. So our contact person would be my mother, and everyone would check in with her. If an earthquake or an emergency or a disaster happens, find that one person that is out of your area. Have your whole all your family members call that one person to check in. Hey, I'm okay. Let my family know when they call. And then make sure you tell that person where you're at and how you're doing. And then everyone will check in. So all the time they call, that person, my mother, would update everyone. Hey, your mom is here. She's fine. Hey, your dad is here. He's fine. So let's do that. That's awesome.
I think that's very strategic on your
Oh my
part.
God,
because
that's
if not, Auntie's going to be calling.
Right.
So better call Auntie than have her calling everybody.
Right. So she is our emergency contact. Make a list, put it on your wall, but my kids know. Like our emergency person is my mama. So call her and then everyone check in with her. And that way when I call, I'll know where everybody is. Cause I will freak out not knowing where my kids are. So,
and a lot of times people think, well, I've got all those numbers on my phone. You may lose your phone in an emergency.
Your phone will die out.
Your phone could die out. Like have those things on the wall, and had a caretaker is very good. I am under medication and treatment for cancer. I need that information, and I need to have it whether my phone works or not.
Right.
So
there you go.
Have that in place. Evacuation action, and we talked about that earlier. Where are you going to go? So if your family, one's in school, one's at volleyball practice, one's at work, you're off doing some PBD thing, where are you going to meet? You're going to contact each other by phone. You're going to check in with your person.
Right.
But where are you going to meet to make sure that you know everybody's safe? If you don't know, you might have one person going to the house, and you might have another person going to a relative's house, and then you're scattered trying to find each other.
Right.
If you know we're all headed to the same place,
right.
That helps and the alerts can help you with that, and might redirect you to a place like a library or a stadium,
Right.
or something local. Be ready to go to your safe place. So 211 on your phone to find a public shelter.
Yeah. Did you know that? You could dial 211 to find a public shelter that will take your family in case your house is.
Everybody knows 911.
Yeah, but
old people
211.
remember 411.
Yeah.
Not many people know about 211.
411.
411. Get the 411.
Get the 411, Mary. Go bag, pack ahead.
And this is what you did.
I
You
did
actually
this. So the fires were close by. They had people evacuate. My brother evacuated from Vacaville, Ed and his family. And then it was coming close to where I live. So what we did, we had to pack a bag. People were telling us to pack a bag in case you have to evacuate your home. So what you want to do is pack important documents like birth certificates, marriage
Stuff that
certificates.
if it burns,
If it burns,
you can replace it, but
you
it's going to be
screwed.
a big pain in the ass.
Oh
You're
my
going to be going
God.
to the county courthouse.
Right.
You're going to go to the DMV. You're going to
Yep.
go. Who wants to wait at the DMV?
Yes. So that's important to know, right? So pack identification, insurance, other papers, family photos that are important to you.
Can't replace those.
Yeah, you can't replace those. So, and then you want to make sure you have cash on hand, 5s and 1s and 20s. I know I use my ATM card all the time. I never have cash.
Why wouldn't you want to be a big roller and have wads of hundreds in
Because
your
people can't break it.
There you go.
People cannot break $100 bill. And at some point, you know how they always like run that pen to check if your $100 bill is. And ain't nobody got time for that. So make sure you have cash on hand, small bills, 20s, 10s, 5s, and 1s, and then a map. I know we don't use paper maps anymore. Your phone may not be working, so at least have one
Right.
paper map that you can touch, okay? And then if you're on medication or family members are on medication, like put some aside, like allergy medicines, albuterol. We all have asthma in my house, so we want to make sure we make a bag with our medications to last us for at least 3 days, right? And then your contact list. Make
Right.
sure and make a list of supplies that you need. Pack enough stuff for 3 days. Get 3 days worth of clothes. Get some cash. Important documents is big for me.
And these can all be in a go bag. These are things that you can
put in a bag near the door.
Right.
Put in a bag near the door so that when it's time to evacuate, you just got to grab a bag
Right.
and go. You're not running around the house going, I got to get my paperwork. No.
And the flames are getting closer.
Right.
So as you leave, so last second you're headed out the door, your wallet, your purse, your keys, your phone if you got it, and a charger. You want to be able to make sure that thing stays charged.
Portable chargers.
Portable
Awesome.
chargers. Your medicine. Naki just talked about that. And if you have these are really good to have. A portable radio that winds to power.
What the
So there
hell?
are storm radios
I haven't seen that.
have a little handle on the side, and you can crank them up. They don't take batteries. There's a hand crank, and you can get 20 minutes out of it, out of a little bit of cranking. You can get the news and what you need on the radio, a flashlight, first aid supplies, and a portable computer. Everybody's got a portable computer. So.
Right. And if you have a pet like I do, make sure you put your pet supplies.
Sunga's going with you?
Sunga is going with me. What the hell? I may leave some people behind, but I ain't leaving Sunga. Tayao Manuia, Yvette, Eduardo
Yvette.
Vasquez, Felician, Jocelyn, Yosefo, MV Hausia, Nelly Rodriguez, Washington,
Good morning, Nelly.
checking in. Danny for good morning. Thank you for tuning in. Yes, Neo. Okay, Neo is on. Good morning, Neo.
Good morning, brother.
I am taking my baby with me. Like I just said, some people may get left behind, but not my Sunga. My Sunga is not getting left behind. So, that is our emergency,
Yep.
right? Okay, so important. Just
And we'll
pack
put
a
this
bag.
on. We'll put this on our social
We
media.
will put this on our social media.
These preparedness, it take you a day to get all this stuff together and ready to go,
know, it's so
and then you're
easy.
ready.
Right,
you're
right.
ready. If there's a earthquake, your family knows. Look, this is the contact person. This is where we try to get to.
Right.
You know the radio stations to tune into. You got a radio. You
Yes.
got a bag.
Yes.
You're trained
Be prepared. That's all.
to do that.
We're
And if
just
you're-
trying to get you prepared.
If you're old enough, you remember earthquake drills in school where
Oh
you
my
jump
God.
under the desk.
Yeah. So that is our just trying to help you prepare because of the crazy times that we're going through. We need you to just be prepared. We don't want you. I mean, why I don't want you without something good. So good morning, Maury. Our Maury is on. So we're going to take a break real quick. This means break. And we're just going to play whatever song pops up in the queue.
We're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about a certain somebody who downplayed the virus, who walked around with no mask, and he contracted COVID-19. So we're going to talk about that when we get back. I'll say it this and I'll say it later. We hope, we wish all the best to President Trump and Melania and everybody else that has contracted COVID-19.
Right,
we want you to recover 100% and 100%. Be healthy and continue on. That is a point that we want to make before we start talking about that. So don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Faika Podcast broadcast, and we will be back in a minute or two.
Or three. We are going to play a song from blah, 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 and you're going to like it. And we're back. You're listening to the FICA Podcast. I am Naki. This is Carl.
Good morning.
Good morning. So, COVID-19, Koviki Talk, which we are doing tomorrow. We're going to be talking everything Koviki Talk. And so, tune in tomorrow at 5 o'clock. We will be back to work your nerves. There you go. Speaking of COVID-19, the President Trump has... He and the First Lady have contracted COVID-19. And so Carl has all kinds of thoughts about that.
I do. So I've defended President Trump on a lot of different issues. I've defended him on foreign policy, not all 100% of it, but I've defended him in his involvement of America in wars. I've defended him on some of his fiscal policy. I'm not a Trump fan, but I do try to get my news from an unbiased source. So I see some things that he does well. I think that the biggest problem I have with what's going on right now is he has been seen as reckless. He's been seen as downplaying the virus. And now when you look at how he's handled COVID-19 personally, it's just hard for me to make any kind of excuses for this situation. So this is an aggregate timeline with the sources of his activity last week. So Tuesday, he arrived late to the debate. It was policy, or it was the protocol that everybody would test for COVID-19. He does not test at the Cleveland Clinic. His family refuses to follow mask wearing protocol. And this is from Chris Wallace. Wednesday, midday, Trump tests positive and is diagnosed with COVID-19. And that's from the White House physician, his personal physician, Dr. Connolly. That is not from a news source. It's not from the mainstream media or MSNBC or CNN. That's from the White House physician. The Biden team's not contacted. They just got done debating with Vice President Biden the evening before. His team isn't contacted, and no information is shared with the press. Wednesday afternoon, Trump travels to Minnesota for a rally and a fundraiser at a prominent donor's house. White House aide Hope Hicks feels sick and quarantines on board Air Force One. Thursday, Hope Hicks is diagnosed with COVID-19. Trump begins experimental treatment. Again, this is from Dr. Connolly, and still travels to the New Jersey Golf Club and meets with 18 donors indoor at a round table without masks. And that's a White House source. A White House source later says he appears tired. And then finally on Friday at 1 a.m. Eastern time, he announces that he tested positive. So again, I don't see any excuse for knowing that you're positive and being around people, not making them aware and not wearing a mask. I don't see. And I guess it'll all develop out later.
Yeah.
And I think that it'll get, the story will get changed. The good thing is, or bad thing for the Republicans, is that Connolly just made the statement. Like, he didn't realize there was going to be a timeline going backwards. So when he says 72, the first 72 hours going backwards, he's putting that timeline into motion that he was at the New Jersey, he was at 2 different fundraisers knowing that he was positive without a mask.
That's awful. And
That's putting lives at risk.
that's putting tons of lives at risk. So it's,
And a lot of people will say, like, he's responsible for, 200,000 Americans die. Like, that's like secondary responsibility, or because he didn't do certain things. These things where people he was exposed to that he didn't tell he was positive with, so they could make a decision for themselves. Do I want to be around him or not?
So he was told before he went to this conference.
Wednesday midday, Trump tests positive, is diagnosed with COVID-19. That's from his personal physician, Dr. Conley. Wednesday midday.
They told him Wednesday.
Wednesday afternoon, he travels to Minnesota for a rally. Thursday, he goes to New Jersey Golf Club, meets with 18 donors, indoor roundtable without masks. And his family refused to wear masks.
I wonder why.
It's the image. So what I believe is Trump's handling of COVID-19 has been like that's been what his worst position in terms of being reelected. That's why I think that the riots and the protests, those things, I think helped him. I think those helped him because it took the attention away from COVID-19. This just brings it right back front and center, right in the middle of the main stage. Now it's COVID-19 and how he's handled it personally. So I think this is horrible for him. I think his idea was to get the focus off of COVID-19, and here it is right back.
It's brought it right back.
Like, nobody's talking about mail fraud right now. Nobody's talking about ballots and how people are voting. All that is gone from the media. Right now, it's all back on COVID. And that's what he wanted. He wanted to put that in the rearview mirror in terms of the reelection. Or the election process.
And we're right back. We're right back.
We're right back talking about COVID-19.
Yeah. So he's staying quarantined.
He's under self-quarantine, 14 days from, Wednesday? Mm-hmm. He gave a speech. He looked better. I mean, he didn't sound bad. Wasn't short for breath, but he didn't look real good.
And didn't he go to the hospital?
He went to Walter Reed Medical Center. He did.
Did they keep him?
He's still there.
Oh, they kept him.
Yeah.
Maybe it's worse than they say it is, just not to...
We're not going to get the truth.
Yeah.
So we don't know.
Totally.
We don't know.
We don't know. Maybe mild, maybe severe. We won't know. Yeah, that's true. We won't know the truth, not to freak people out or anything like that. Lily Noah, Samia, Lily Felicitao Esse, good morning.
Good morning, sister.
Rose Fuapopo, good morning. Thank you for tuning in this morning. So the president has COVID. So is the first lady in the hospital too? First
lady's in the hospital too. She's doing better than he is.
What?
Actually, let me back that up. First lady has symptoms and is doing well.
Mild? Or
mild.
No, we're never going to get the truth.
She's doing better than he is.
Yeah, we're not going to get the truth.
That's what we know.
That's all. So
his comment was, she's slightly younger than me.
She's slightly younger than me, so she'll recover. So he'll recover too, I'm sure. Yeah. So whatever we think of the president, we still gonna pray for him to get better, right?
Vice President Biden has tested negative.
Oh, that's good.
Kamala Harris was nowhere near it. She tested. She's negative.
That's nice.
Republican Senator Mike Lee, who would be part of the Judiciary Commission to confirm Amy Coney Barrett, he tested positive, and one other member of that committee, Republican, tested positive too.
Allie Higgs says she's not in the hospital. Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Allie. Good morning, Philly Ingafo. Good morning. So the president has COVID, and so the light is back on COVID-19 and how we're going to find a cure, which we're hoping is soon because they're doing the clinical testing. Right.
There's 9 trials in phase 3.
9 trials in phase 3. So keep your fingers crossed. Do the prayers that we find a cure soon, because I am getting sick of this shelter in place.
Yeah. Well, I'm really sick of shelter in place. I mean, the COVID, what is it? COVID fatigue or whatever it's called. It's legitimate. I mean, it's hard to keep doing and being safe. And I think that the the Republicans that have kind of thumbed their nose at it and not
Yeah.
worn masks when everybody else is wearing masks. The appointment or the nomination of Amy Coney Barrett was in the Rose Garden at the White House. Nobody was wearing masks.
Oh.
Nobody.
But everybody tested negative?
Not everybody tested positive. No, the people there tested positive.
Oh.
Yeah, not all of them, but people there did, and then obviously people since then have. But and there are some people that like Chris Christie. He's very heavy. He's in the high risk category.
And did he test?
He tested positive.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah.
It's so sad whenever anybody tests positive. But that's why I say, at the very least, wear your friggin' mask. At the very least. Because you don't know who you're around. And look, the president kept it quiet. You don't know who else is keeping quiet about
Right.
having this disease. And my immune system is compromised, so I always wear my mask. I expect people around me to wear their mask because they know that my immune system is compromised. And people that are around me do a great job of, a lot of our crew gets tested and they wear a mask all the time. And so that at the very least, please wear a mask. That's all we ask you to do at the Faika Broadcast is wear your mask, right? Protect me, protect you. Mary Veda.
Veda.
Good morning, Mary. Esther Suavai Ese. Alo Lealofi. Good morning. Thank you for tuning in. You missed our emergency broadcast get a bag thing. We're going to post that again. COVID-19, wear a mask. Did you register to vote? Did you vote? What are you waiting for? Also, the census. The census, they've extended the, deadline to October 31st. Halloween. So you still have a chance. Let me see. They extended to the 31st. Pacific Islanders were way undercounted. Like how I did that? Way.
That's a lot of Y's.
Undercounted in the Census 2010. So we need you to fill out your Census 2020. We're missing out on resources and funding that could be designated to your neighborhood, to our community. If you haven't filled out your Census 2020, please do so. 9 simple questions. Everything is confidential. And then support for that comes from One East Palo Alto, a nonprofit organization working to maintain a good quality of life for residents in East Palo Alto. Why is the census important to me? I'm tired of being called other, right? Other. That was by Professor Anna Patera. Go to www.2020census.gov to fill out your census. Why you haven't done so, I don't know. You're working my nerves with that shit. Fill out the census. Let's get counted, right? Count us in. What else? Oh, Utopia today at 5 p.m. on Utopia San Francisco page. Your host, Neo and Koa, Utopia Fireside Queer Talk is happening at 5 p.m. today. Go on over. Oh my gosh, it's coming out. I've seen Tone Vai is going to be one of the guests. Trish is going to be one of the guests. Oh, we hung out with Trish last weekend. Who else? There's other people. I have to look at the flyer, but go check out Utopia San Francisco at 5 p.m.
Spulu, I think.
Spulu.
Yeah.
We love Spulu. We had Spulu on as a guest. He's an amazing, amazing dancer. He's just everything about his aura
I can't remember
is
the fourth.
fucking badass. Nelly said, my own opinion, although I wish no ill will on anyone, but you are the commander-in-chief of the USA. Now what? Still in denial. Stupid. Valera. Okay, now. Okay, now. Thank you. We still gonna pray for our president because he still is the president of the United States of America, and we want to pray for him to make the right decisions for everyone. So there you go. That is my prayer every morning for the president of the United States. This morning I made fono tatalo. I woke up at 6:05. I woke up at 6:05 and was a little late. It was good to hear Audrey sing. I miss her singing. I've been sleeping in lately because we're up late with PBD and up early for meetings and stuff. So it was very good to jump into Fono Tatalo, Essence of Mana.
Essence of Mana. They had Fanga on, right?
They had Fanga on last week? Who did they have on last week,
think so.
Mena?
Essence of Mana.
They had Vo. No, it was during the election. They had
that's right. That's
they
right.
had Vo and Anthony talking about politics and register to vote. It was awesome, awesome, awesome. Did you want to? Parenting classes has started September.
That started September 17th.
Yeah.
So they're still in it. It's a 12-week program. Free. Designed to support adult family members and develop communication skills and give you tips that lead to more love and nurturing family relationships. Contact our own Miss Nani Wilson at nwilson@aars.org.
Awesome. SCDC is doing a fucking badass job this year because of COVID. They have virtual programs right now going on. Wellness check-in every Wednesday for parents. Chat with other parents. Oh, that's a typo.
Parts of family.
Chat with other parts of your family members about life in the new norm. Talk about the craziness of the pandemic. Decompress, debrief, join via Zoom. This week, I'm working on a guest because I'm falling behind. I've been just back to work and trying to get back in the groove. So trying to fill our October calendar for FICA. So if you have any suggestions,
I got
go right
4
ahead.
suggestions.
I know. the panelists for that, I will get a hold of them.
They're all amazing people.
They're all amazing. What can you say? I mean, Cedric Flynn, good morning. It's a crazy time right now. And we just want to, I think we covered the propositions for California, which I filled out, and me and, I think, Mena, were you there? Lay and our kids went over the propositions, what they meant. Me, Mo, and Lay and Malia were downstairs talking about it. I don't know where you were.
It's like, where did you left me out of that?
Yeah. So I think because we got our forms and we're sitting there filling them out. So anyway, Trump, COVID-19, PI debate, fires, I think.
Koviki Talks, we're good. That's a wrap.
Koviki Talk is tomorrow. Please tune in at 5:00 right here on our PBD page. Snacky with Nacky, round 7. It's still going. We're still doing round 7. We just have been crazy busy, and we are going to get to it today or next week. So there you go. Thank you. Are we done?
That's a wrap.
That is a wrap.
Bring it home.
Bring it home. So look for us Monday, Koviki Talk, Tuesday, Faika Broadcast, and we'll be back next Sunday. Thank you, Team Mena. Carl is wearing his Wayfinder t-shirt. We ask you every week to support our Pacifica entrepreneurs. Shop Pacifica. Go to Samoan Solutions Instagram page. In their highlight section, you will find all the Pacifica entrepreneurs. They also have Pacifica podcast. We may not be for you, but you will find someone that of interest, right? Wayfinders, shop Wayfinders. Check out Toke Moana Foods. Food is amazing. Shop Pacifica and register to vote. Fill out your census. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Faika Broadcast. We will be back tomorrow and Tuesday and see you next Sunday. Thank you so much to our Team Mena for everything amazing that you see popping up. And then we will see you next Sunday. Come back to Faika with us.
Stay strong and know that everything will be alright. Sit back and cool, do what you do. Start to rearrange your mind. I'm tired of facing these temptations, wondering will I ever make it. Sit back and cool, do what you do. Look. But what you do if you know when your time's up? Cause I probably go crazy, screaming life sucks. A crazy life, I probably couldn't even grind much. Gotta be patient with your cause, give it some time. Look, I'm on a different height, trying to